The Coil is Destiny 2's newest seasonal activity, and it's actually pretty good, offering up a roguelike level design, light mechanics, and the most loot I've ever seen from a matchmade activity since, I think, the Menagerie chest farm. In this video, I'll be breaking down the mechanics of it, providing some tips and things I've learned along the way, and showing you how to get platinum to unlock the Chamber of Wishes. So let's not waste any more time and dive right in. The Coil activity has two measures of success. The first is whether or not you've made it to the end of the activity by defeating all of the bosses, and the second is how high your score is. And your score is determined by how many glass shards you've collected. These come from breakable pots, from enemies, and from the glass collector, which I'll talk more about in a bit. If you stick it out the entire 45-minute run, the game will take you through 4 different pathways, each with its own boss. After fully completing a pathway, you'll be returned to Riven, where you can spend any glass shards you've collected on Dragon's Gifts, which are strong bonuses and modifiers applied for the remainder of the activity. Each pathway contains 2 secret chests locked behind doors. In order to access these, you need to reach a certain score threshold. Hitting a threshold will trigger the text pop-up in the bottom left-hand corner, "A secret chest lies in wait," telling you that the door for the chest is now open. Usually you'll meet the score requirements while in the area with the chest, but if you're ahead of schedule, this can happen in the ad clearing and boss encounter spaces as well. On screen, I've put together a little requirement list for both chests in each pathway. As you might notice, it increases by 12,500 score per chest, until we get to the final set of chests where it increases by 15,000. For some reason, the chests at 85,000 and 100,000 score are labeled in-game as third pathway chests. I don't exactly know why, but that's just how it is. If you want to make your life a little easier, go ahead and add the Wombo Detector mod to your Ghost to show you exactly where each secret chest is. It will mark both the trap chest and the regular chest, but don't let it trick you, you can only open the one without the spikes. In order to reach platinum in this activity, at least during the first week and at the time of this video, you'll need to reach a score of 150,000 points. If that sounds a little ridiculous for a matchmade activity, don't worry, Bungie is making some changes to the glass shard economy, which I'll touch on in just a second. To hit 150,000, you're going to need to make sure to destroy every single pot in each pathway. Collect all of the loose glass shards that drop from enemies you defeat, which might not sound like much, but it really does add up. And you'll need to kill the glass collector enemy. This is a special named enemy that can take on a few different forms and spawns randomly within one of your pathways. It usually is something like a goblin or an acolyte, and it'll have a normal amount of health. Make sure that when you kill it, it's not near a ledge, or if you can't avoid that, try and be right on top of it to collect all of the shards. The glass collector drops around 25 to 26,000 shards, and if those end up falling into an abyss, that'll be the difference between you hitting platinum or not. Unfortunately, it seems like the glass collector is not guaranteed to spawn in, either due to bad luck or a possible bug, and if you happen to get a run without it, it's very unlikely you're going to be able to hit platinum. There have been a few runs I've done so far where he didn't spawn in at all, which screwed us over big time and left us about 20,000 points short once we got to the end. So yeah, kind of unforgiving for a matchmade activity, but thankfully Bungie does have plans to change this. Yesterday on Twitter they shared this update stating, quote, "The shard economy is a bit too unforgiving based on our early observations. The team is looking into improving this so the path to platinum is still possible even if you don't collect every shard from every pot," end quote. So hopefully after whatever patch they're planning on releasing, going for this platinum will feel a little bit better. If you manage to finish the activity at or past the platinum threshold, a portal will spawn in front of Riven that takes you to the Chamber of Wishes, which is the ultimate loot room with tons of chests for you to open, making the lengthy runtime of the activity very much worth it. If you're matchmaking with randoms, please take the extra few seconds to find and destroy all of the pots, just so that everyone has a chance at platinum, especially if you plan on leaving. Speedrunning through is obviously more fun, but the more pots you get, the more of those secret chests you're going to unlock, which means more loot, so it's a win-win for everyone. Even though this is a matchmade activity and people are going to run whatever they want, I just wanted to provide some loadout suggestions just to make things a bit easier. Witherhoard is an excellent choice for this activity, and I've been using it in most of my runs, totally not because it's my favorite exotic or anything. Thorn and Sunshot are great picks as well, and are already seeing a lot of use this season, and swords are also really good for most of the sections, Lament, Bequest, and Falling Guillotine. As for bosses, Dragon's Breath is looking like one of the stronger heavy options right now, but things like Gjallarhorn are still pretty reliable. For subclasses, Golden Gun with Celestial Nighthawk is crazy this season. Definitely toss that on when you get to the boss arena if you're a hunter. As for Warlocks, Apotheosis Veil is great this season with the new changes. It's especially good on Solar Warlock right now for bosses, because you get to spam unlimited grenades in melee for 7 seconds after popping your super. And having a well is just really nice, especially in the later encounters of this activity, because the enemy's power level increases every time you take another pathway. And for my beloved Titans, the new Strand aspect, which I still need to unlock, is really good, and Strand Titan just seems to dominate in this activity, especially in their super. This is just the first week though, and Bungie has said that the activity will evolve over time, opening new pathways and rotating bosses each week. So by the time you're watching this, your run might look a little different, but the score requirements and mechanics should remain the same. I'll be sure to keep you guys posted in the description of this video if anything changes. If you enjoyed the video, please do me a solid and hit that like button. It takes half a second and really gives the video a boost. And subscribe if you enjoy these kinds of guides. Thanks for watching.